What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we're gonna run the all-new purple tank through the surface gauntlet. Now, I went ahead and polished this purple tank, which took a considerable amount of time because urethane struggles to polish, but we're gonna see how this ball reacts with polish, and then we're gonna take it to 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,500, 1,000, and 500 to see how the different surface preps affect this purple tank. If you guys like this video, I would appreciate it if you went ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date every time I drop a new video. And if you like this jersey or any of the jerseys in any of my videos, you can head on over to logoinfusion.com or iambowling.com and use my promo code Lewis, and that'll get you 20% off your entire order. And then down below in the description, I have a link to my Patreon where you can help support this channel and get better at bowling together with me. Some of the benefits of my Patreon include a members only Discord and a members only Facebook group. Then you also have access to coaching, lane play help, arsenal building, layout advice, and many, many more features. So click the link down below. Let me know down below in the comments if you're gonna order this purple tank when it comes out on March 10th. So the first surface prep that we're gonna take a look at with this purple tank is polish. I went ahead and hit it with a 2000 pad and then the Motiv Power Gel polish. I'm gonna take you guys out on the lanes so that you can see myself getting lined up with this purple tank at polish. And then once I go to the 4,000 pad, I'm gonna make the proper adjustments to find a way to make the ball to go through the pins. So this purple tank we're gonna take a look at is the pin up one. I went ahead and went with the pin up layout for this surface review because it is the more versatile layout of the two that I have. And if you haven't watched the initial review, you should definitely go back and check it out. It's gonna be linked in the playlist under purple tank. And so the layout on this one is 45 by 4 by 25. And this is the first time that I'm ever throwing a polished urethane ball. So I threw a couple shots with it in practice and it did not react anything like urethane. So let's see what we can do right here. So this first shot, I'm standing at around 19 and I have a drift to the right. So let's see, first shot here with polish. Oh my God. So that was very lucky. But as you can see with the polish, it wants to scoot a little bit further down lane than traditional urethane normally does. And it has a pretty nice down lane motion. I mean, that's just my first shot, but I'm thinking that this might be a pretty good option on the higher friction house shots where you don't want the ball to be as early. So that first shot with the polish was very interesting. I'm very surprised at how much it's still shaped down lane. Now it is polished on the cover, so that's probably the case as to why. So on that, off that last shot, I'm gonna move like 2 and 1 left, 2 with my feet, 1 with my eyes, and see if we can still get it to shape. I do suspect, however, that as we add the surface to this ball, I will be moving right and keep it more in front of me. So now I'm standing at 21. See if I can get it to shape again. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I'm laughing because it's hilarious how much it wants to shape down lane for a urethane ball. So we're just gonna keep chasing that left a little bit until it stops coming around the corner. So off that last shot, we're gonna go another 2 and 1 left and see how far left I can get with this purple tank at polish. Now, like I said, this is the first time I'm ever throwing a urethane ball with polish. So I am not used to this kind of reaction from a urethane ball. So again, we're gonna go another 2. So now I'm at like 24-ish. But remember guys, I drift to the right. See, that one was the really, really good one. It actually went flush through the pins and was absolutely 10 back. And it did slow down more than when I was a little bit further to the right. So I'm really thinking that is the money shot for this polished purple tank. So I'm gonna throw another shot from that same spot, which was about 24 at my feet. And just to see if I can replicate it. Like, my mind is literally blown by how much shape this ball is producing right now. So I'm at 24 right now, and I'm just gonna throw one more shot from this spot. So I think what impressed me about that shot is I missed left, and it still read the friction extremely hard and ran over the 8 pin. So So far with the polish, color me impressed. We're gonna change the surface now from the polish to a 4000 grit. Now for me, when I go to change the surface of a bowling ball, especially on lane, the first thing I wanna do is wipe all the oil off the ball. And then if you use an interchangeable thumb, like the turbo switch grip, make sure you take it out first. So we're gonna go I'm gonna show you guys how I like to change the surface of these bowling balls. So you wanna come around here? So the very first thing I like to do is put the logo up. That way I have a good idea and make sure I get the entire circumference of the bowling ball. So I like to do the logo up and do a bunch of little mini circles. Then I'm gonna flip the ball over, do it again, then do the grips up and the grips down, just to make sure we get the entire circumference of the bowling ball. So we're just gonna do a whole bunch of tiny little circles around the ball. And then when we're talking about pressure, like, I know this is gonna be silly, but pretend you're giving your grandparent a massage. You don't wanna do too much pressure, but you wanna have enough pressure where they can feel it. And all we're trying to do is make sure we get the whole circumference of the bowling ball. So I'm gonna flip to do the other logo. And then again, we're gonna do the same thing. Nice little circles, nice amount of pressure, evenly throughout the cover. Then we're gonna go the grips up and do the same thing. Now, when we go from polish to 4000, the differences are not gonna be that big because it's basically the same thing. It's not the same thing, but when you go from polish to 4000, it's gonna make the break point come a little bit closer to you, but it's still gonna be a nice down lane motion. Now, I don't know what's gonna happen when we go to urethane, but that's what happens with traditional reactive resin. Now, once you feel you've done the entire ball, just go ahead and spray it down with some ball cleaner. Right now, I'm using the Wow Factor by Creating the Difference. Personally, you can use this one, or you can use the Motiv Amplify Cleaner. I really like that one. I just happen to run out of it. So once you get all the dust off the ball, you'll be ready to go. Now, you want to make sure that you use some sort of cleaner when cleaning the ball, because you don't want to have any of that dust go onto the lane. So this first shot here, this is going to be the first shot with the 4000 pad. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a shot from the last spot I struck with the polish, and then we're going to find a way to make the proper adjustment to make the ball go through the pins the right way. So again, this first shot here with the 4000, I'm going to be standing at that 24 area and see what kind of down lane reaction we're going to get from this ball. I mean, that is as perfect a explanation of what surface is gonna do to urethane as I've ever seen. From that spot, I just 9-pinned and struck a bunch from that spot with the polish. Very first shot from that spot, I leave a flat 10-pin. So that's telling me that even with the 4000 finish, I'm definitely gonna have to move right and keep my angles a little bit more shut down. So my adjustment off that really flat 10-pin is I'm gonna move my feet one board to the right and my eyes one board to the right. Just make sure I get it into the friction a little bit sooner from a little bit straighter, and hopefully that should make the ball hook early enough to kick out that 10-pin. So we were at 24, we're gonna go to 23. And now I'm gonna be looking one board to the right. Here we go. So that one and one right was a more than enough move to kick out that 10-pin. So now we're gonna surface it up to 3000 and see what the difference is gonna be there. So now this is gonna be my first shot with the purple tank at 3000. And going from the polish to the 4000 was as perfect a transition as I've ever seen. The first shot went super light, went one and one right, and it carried the 10. So now I'm gonna throw this ball at 3000 from that spot where I kicked out the 10 with the 4000 and see what the difference is. So now I'm at 23. just like I was with 4,000, and see what the difference is now. So very, very, very similar. If anything, it hooked a little bit earlier and went absolutely 10 back. Now, because the Purple tank does have a weaker core and a really strong urethane cover, the differences between 4,000 and 3,000 are going to be very, very similar. I'm gonna throw another shot from the same spot just to make sure that it wasn't a fluke shot. So again, we're gonna throw another shot here with the 3,000 from the same spot. The last shot looked really, really good. Honestly, I wouldn't make an adjustment off that shot just because of how good the ball went through the pins. So let's try it again. So again, 23 with my feet, a little bit drift to the right. Missed a little bit left, but as you can see, it handled the front part of the lane like a champ and went through the pins as good as I could have asked. So now we're gonna hit it with a 2,000 pad, and I really believe this is where the bigger differences are gonna be. We're gonna be creating a little bit more dust on the ball, and meaning we're gonna create a bigger footprint in the oil. All right, so far, I am incredibly impressed with the versatility of this Purple tank. It rolled really good with polish, rolled really good at 4,000, really good at 3,000. And this is gonna be my first shot here with the Purple tank at 2,000. And like I said in the last clip, I really think that this is where the big differences is going to be once we get into that 2,000. But again, I'm gonna stand at the same spot that I struck with the 3,000 and see what the differences is gonna be with the 2,000. So again, I'm standing at 23 and I'm just trying to be nice and forward, which is what I'm always working on. Yeah, I mean, oh my God. I laugh because I'm so impressed. It still went through the pins. It still struck from the same spot. But in my eyes, I see that as significantly earlier, but down lane, it doesn't want to boom, kind of like the polish did. So it's hooking earlier, but still giving me that really nice, predictable down lane motion, which is what you're looking for out of a urethane ball. When I'm in urethane, I want to control the front part of the lane and manage the down lane friction. And in a center like Samsung, where there's a lot of friction down lane, this Purple tank is handling that friction amazingly. So again, I'm gonna throw this Purple tank at 2,000 from the same spot that I threw in that struck the last shot. I don't think I need to make really a move off that last shot just because of how good it looked. It read the front part of the lane, didn't boom down lane, went through the pins. I'm just gonna throw another shot like that from the same spot just to replicate it. Make sure that it wasn't a fluke shot. So same spot, same thing. Oh, little messenger. I missed that at the bottom. I wasn't as forward as I wanted to be. I definitely came around that a little bit, and that really caused it to push a little bit further down lane and went really light, but I was very lucky to kick out the 10. So I'm gonna throw another shot just to make sure I hit it the right way and I'm nice and up the back instead of coming around it so much. So again, I'm gonna throw one more shot with this Purple tank at 2,000, just because that last shot, I didn't hit it at the bottom and I missed it, kind of spun it a little bit. So I didn't really love that. So we're gonna do that again, make sure I come up the back of it. And that's one thing I'm always working on, is trying to keep my hand nice and behind the ball. So let's try that one more time from the same spot. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of all these surface changes with this Purple tank. So yeah, I got behind it like I wanted to, but I did miss left, but it went through the pins pretty amazingly. So now we're gonna change the surface on it from 2,000 and go to 1,500 and see what the difference is gonna be. So this is gonna be my first shot here with the 1500. And the biggest differences I've seen between going from the polish and to 2000 so far is just in the front part of the lane. The ball's wanting to be a little bit earlier, a little bit earlier, a little bit earlier, and it's still handling the down lane friction really good. The one thing I am noticing, I'm about a game and a half-ish in, including practice, is that I'm not seeing a ton of carry down, which is a very, very good thing. The last thing you want to deal with urethane is a lot of carry down. So again, this is gonna be from that same spot again, and see what the difference is gonna be, if any. So that one was very slow, and it hooked early and it went. So I'm gonna stay in that same spot, just make sure I don't throw it as slow. So again, another shot here with 1500, make sure I get my speed where it needs to be. The one thing though that I do advise is that the very first shot with a urethane ball on a fresh surface, it is going to hook more. So if you're in a tournament and you're surfacing up your urethane ball, make sure you get at least one shot in before the score starts, just to make sure you get that one first big hook out the way. So I'm still here at 23, just this time I'm gonna make sure my speed is in the right spot. Yeah, that's a really good shot. My speed was where it needed to be. My hand did the right thing at the bottom. Kicked out the 10. It was a little weak 10 though, okay? So I'm thinking I'm gonna throw another shot with this ball at 1500, but I'm gonna move my feet one board to the right. And the reason I move right is because I'm trying to get the ball to hook a little bit earlier to make sure it kicks out the 10. So I'm gonna make that one board right move with this 1500. But the one thing I do wanna bring up is that when you are throwing a urethane ball, make sure you're wiping the oil off the cover of the bowling ball. Urethane balls do not absorb oil, so they're going to redistribute it to the back part of the lane anyway. So if you're not wiping off the ball, you're just going to add more carry down than is already going to give you. And that's, like I said, that's something you don't want to deal with, is a lot of carry down. So now we're going to go to 22 with our feet and see if we can get it to hook a little bit sooner. So my hand did the right thing at the bottom, but I missed right. And typically with reactive resin, if you miss right, it is going to take off on you. With this urethane ball, it handled that extra friction pretty well and got a very lucky strike. So this is gonna be the first shot at 1000. And really 1000 is the start of where I normally keep my urethane balls. It's normally 1000, 500, or in extreme cases, very rarely, 360. So 1000 is really where I gotta make sure that my speed is in the right part of the lane, because the more surface I add to this ball, the less down lane motion that I'm gonna get. And we're about 2 games in now about throwing urethane, and I'm not really seeing a lot of carry down. In fact, the few shots that I've missed right, it's actually bounced back and still hooked. So this is gonna be the same spot, about 22. And again, I'm really trying to make sure I get it up the lane. 22, not 16. All right. That was really good. At the line, I was pretty terrible, but off my hand, at the arrows, down lane, was exactly where I wanted it to be. My ball speed was perfect. With this ball especially, I feel like I can't overthrow the ball. So even if I throw it fast, it still wants to read the front part of the lane. So this is gonna be my first shot at 500 from the same spot that I struck with at 1000. Now, if any of the other surfaces are an indication of what's to come, what I expect is that I'll be able to strike from the same spot of 1000, just the ball's gonna be even earlier and give me less down lane motion. So what I really wanna hammer in with you guys is that if you're ever in a high friction environment and you need something to control the down lane friction, really take a look at this purple tank. I know I'm on staff and I'm supposed to say this, but it's the truth when I tell you guys that this purple tank is the best urethane ball that I have ever thrown. So let's see what this first shot here at 500 does. Same spot, 22. keep my speed nice and firm, nice and up the lane. So I definitely missed left on that shot, and it left me the traditional Samstown 7. I call it that because I leave that so often here. So we're gonna throw the same shot, just make sure I don't miss left into the oil. So this is gonna be the last shot of the video here with the purple tank at 500 grit. The one last thing I wanna tell you guys is that the reason I like this ball so much is because it allows me to play in the part of the lane that I excel at. I'm a naturally large human being, so my misses are typically fast, and the strength of this cover really doesn't let me miss fast because it's still gonna read it. So this last shot, I'm gonna try to make sure my footwork is good, get the ball in the right part of the lane, and show you guys a nice, beautiful strike. Hey, it wasn't a perfect strike, but I got a messenger 10, and in my opinion, that's the best way to end a video. Guys, thank you so much for joining me in this Surface Gauntlet video for the purple tank. You guys are not gonna wanna miss this one out when it comes out on March 10th. Well, there you have it, folks. There's the purple tank through the Surface Gauntlet. Let me know down below in the comments if you like this video, and if you wanna see more Surface tutorials like this in the future. Click right here to watch one of my other videos. Click right here to subscribe. Till next time, guys.